the building that melted cars. On a sunny afternoon in London, a man parked his luxury Jaguar on East Cheap Street just as the noonday sun reached its peak. 90 minutes later, he returned to find the side mirror warped, paint bubbling like plastic in a fire, and the leather dashboard beginning to smoke. At first, he thought it was a prank, but it wasn't. It was architecture, or more specifically, the skyscraper that melted his car. In the heart of London's historic financial district stands the Walkie-Talkie, officially known as 20 Fenchurch Street. A $1 billion building, designed by one of Britain's most celebrated architects, was meant to redefine the skyline, but instead it scorched businesses, burned pedestrians, and earned a darker nickname, the Walkie-Scorchie. This is the story of how a single building became a solar death ray and nearly cooked a city block alive.
Let's go back to the beginning.
The curve that lured the sky. At first glance, the Walkie-Talkie is a bold architectural statement. Unlike the sleek glass rectangles of New York or the needle-like spires of Dubai, this London tower bulges outward like a sail puffed with wind, wider at the top than at the base. Designed by Uruguayan-born architect Rafael Viñoly, it was built between 2009 and 2014 to attract major financial clients. The goal? Maximize rentable space higher up, where the views were best, an architectural sleight of hand that required the tower's body to bow outward as it rose. On paper, it was daring. In practice, it became a magnifying glass, and no one saw it coming. A wall of glass and a deadly angle. Viñoly's design relied heavily on convex glass panels that curved outward, arrayed across the south-facing facade. In London, a city not known for relentless sun, that didn't seem like a problem until it was. In the summer of 2013, as the final glass panes were installed, sunlight began concentrating off the building's face and focusing into a tight beam aimed directly at the street below. The result was, essentially, a man-made solar furnace. For 6 intense weeks, between noon and 2 p.m., a 3-hour sunspot formed, heating temperatures on the pavement to over 230 degrees Fahrenheit, enough to fry an egg or boil paint, and fry it did. The carnage on East Cheap Street. Suddenly, Londoners near the new tower began noticing strange things. Doormats at a local barbershop burst into flames, tiles cracked underfoot, a storefront mannequin melted mid-display. One cafe owner fried an egg on his windowsill, half in shock, half in Instagram glory. But the most famous victim? That Jaguar. Martin Lindsay, a local businessman, came back to find his $1,500 wing mirror in ruins. His dashboard toasted. It was a freaking laser beam, he later told reporters. The public was thrilled. Tabloids feasted. Headlines mocked the tower relentlessly as the Walkie-Scorchie. But the developers weren't laughing. Who failed to see it coming? With over $1 billion invested and major tenants lining up, the Walkie-Talkie's creators had a big problem on their hands. So, who was to blame? Viñoly, the architect, pointed fingers at the developers, said they ignored warnings about the building's shape, but the developers blamed the drawings and claimed no one could have predicted the precise solar reflection pattern, except someone had. Years earlier, Viñoly had designed the Vdara Hotel in Las Vegas, a curvy, glassy building that also focused sunlight and burned tourists. The Vegas press called that one a death ray hotel. Same architect, same problem. No one had listened, and now London was paying the price. The quick fix that wasn't enough panic sparked action. An emergency shade was built with aluminum fins installed across the curved facade to scatter the concentrated beam. A sort of architectural sunblock bolted onto the building's face. It worked, mostly, but the scandal left a permanent scar. The building's reputation was torched, and the public trust with it. Architectural discussions turned from celebrating its curve to surviving it. More than that, the Scorchie saga became a cautionary legend taught in architecture schools around the world. A billion-dollar reminder that ambition without foresight can become dangerous. A skyline curse or a modern lesson. Today, the Walkie-Talkie still looms over London, its shiny curve still catching light, though now, mercifully, just diffusing it. Inside, it's full of high-end tenants, a bar, and a public sky garden with sweeping city views. But despite repairs and the building's glossy interiors, its legacy remains bittersweet. It was supposed to be a symbol of progress and bold thinking. Instead, it became the butt of jokes, the symbol of excess, and a reminder that design isn't just about what looks good on a mock-up, but what happens when that form meets the real world. And sometimes, that heat gets literal. The real cost of a reflection. The financial cost of the repair was around £10 million, but the reputational damage, priceless. More than any fine or lawsuit, the walkie-talkie injured something sacred, the belief that architects think of everything, that our cities are in safe, thoughtful hands. Vignoli himself admitted that he hadn't accounted for London's specific solar patterns. "We made a lot of mistakes with this building," he confessed before his passing in 2023. "It was just an accident, but a lesson. The twist, it took a building designed to impress to teach us humility." When architecture burns. So, what do you call a skyscraper that melts luxury cars, ignites tiles, and accidentally builds its death beam? A masterpiece gone wrong. The walkie-talkie stands as one of the most unintentionally destructive architectural experiments in living memory. A glistening example of how beauty, ambition, and physics can collide. But here's the real takeaway. Architecture shapes our world literally and figuratively. And when it fails, it doesn't crack like a bridge or crumble like a house. It burns. And sometimes it takes part of the city with it. This was the skyscraper that killed a city block. But more than that, it reminded the world. Good design doesn't just look ahead, it looks in all directions, even into the sun. If you enjoyed this exploration, there's more just around the corner. Next, we uncover the cathedral that nearly drove its architect mad and the scandal that saved it. Stay curious.